Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Deontay Burton, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself, and I'm here for the edition of Game Changers, where I bring in different business owners and entrepreneurs. And today's guest, we have Mr. Torian Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson is the owner of TAF Sports. It's a training athletic company. I'll let him give a little information about the company. Mr. Ferguson is a young man, a young entrepreneur. Super proud of him. Not only he's a business owner, he's also my oldest son, also. So I want to bring Torian on today so he can talk about himself and his business and everything, what he's doing now and what he plans to be doing in the future with himself and his business. So I hope you enjoy this. Again, this is Game Changers from Deontay Burton, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. To start everything off, I want to say, Mr. Ferguson, I appreciate you coming on the show. And how you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to elaborate a little bit more about who I am, but also my business. I'm glad I'm on Game Changers today. So
Okay, cool,
I'm
cool.
doing great.
That's cool. Well, look, before we get started, Torian, why don't you tell us a little bit more about who you are? You know who you are, your business, your company, your profession. Give us a little background information about
Okay, well, as you know, Torin, of course, my father right here has been a great influence on business, but also just the educational portion when it comes to school or just educating yourself on anything. But I'm currently on TAS Sports, but also a financial rep at Northwestern Mutual. I'm helping people out with the risk management, wealth accumulation, also estate planning. But I put most of my time in toward TAS Sports, where we're helping kids mostly with their IQ in football. Also, the recruitment side, just making sure that they're on the right path on the recruitment side when it comes to the sports, but also just mentoring overall. The whole mission of TAF is just pretty much give some type of mentorship to the athletes, just to realize that you're not in this game alone, and that life is a journey, and I'm here to help them out any way possible. It always starts with mentorship first and athletics next.
you. Okay.
Um, we are based in Jonesboro, Stockbridge, Henry County, South Metro area. Help out kids elementary all the way up to high school, also college if anybody comes back. So
Cool, cool, cool. Well, let me ask you a question. What pretty much got you started in the whole training fitness business? Because people, one thing about Torian getting went into, with his background in education, while Torian played college football, and I know a lot of guys that come in and play college football. People want to go to the next level, go to the NFL. Some guys want to, go into the public sector. Like you say, you selling life insurance. What made you get started in the training fitness industry? What brought you about getting into that?
well, we can all go back to me playing football and sports in general at age 4, all the way up to graduating from Vanderbilt. I saw the importance once I left school on health and how it played a key role in my journey during the sport. The 4 years at Vanderbilt, and just to see how my body was adjusting from my freshman year to my senior year was magnificent. Only because it took time and diligence on my body, what I ate, sleep, rest. And I realized like a lot of people didn't have that educational portion on how to take care of their body, but also what it took to get to that form of body that you want. So that led me down that direction of actually trying to train people in the beginning. Then I realized what's my God-given talent and who else can I help with the sports side of the game in general in the business. I said, let's try to help the kids in high school that really don't know what's next and how do you get to that next destination, which is college football for most athletes that I know, or track. So what I want to do is pretty much give them the educational portion or mentorship on how I got to where I got to, and the destination, or the people that have helped me put in those resources in their hand. And I think I was the best person for that.
Gotcha. Cool, cool. All right, now this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to kind of think back, okay, when you say, okay, I'm out of school, get ready to start my own business and everything. Give me the process that went behind building TAF Sports. What was the process we're doing it from the idea to the inception of you doing? What was that?
Just coming out of college, man, I didn't take the route of going to the NFL. I tried a couple weeks or months out just to see if I wanted to do it. I sat down for a good couple months and just thought to myself, who am I? What is my purpose? How can I help others? And I always start with the word help. Who can I help? So I thought back to who helped me and how did I get to where I was at today. Sports came back. Sports was the first thing that popped up. So I was like, who needs my help? who can I change? Whose lives can I change with my talent? And it went back to athletes at the end of the day because that's what I was from age 4 to now. I'm gonna consider a student athlete, and I'm gonna stick to that for the rest of my life. But what I've done, I sat back and realized what things were we missing. We needed that mentorship as far as recruitment. That's probably one of the biggest things that's still over people's heads. How do I get into college? Recruitment, want folks on recruitment. I also want to make sure the kids had a good education. I know education played a key role. So what I did, just sitting down to myself before I started the business, I realized like, how did I get to where I was, and how can I help other people do the same thing? And that's why TAF is TAF Sports today, because I realized people need help out here, and the people that I can help right now that I can pretty much relate to are the athletes. So my whole goal is to mentor all the athletes in the right direction at the end of the day. So it took me just sitting down, brainstorming day in and day out, and figuring out my purpose. And my purpose led me to TAF Sports.
Okay,
It
cool.
all started with just sitting down and writing out a plan for the most part.
Gotcha. You know, I do a lot of talking about planning and goal setting and everything. So I'm glad you took that route to get everything started. Let me ask you this. Okay, so you got TAF Sports started, you grinding and going everything. Give me the feeling that you had when you got your very first client. How did that feel? What was that like?
Oh man, it felt good, man. Cause I remember waking up early in the morning. First starting on myself, man. I had to work out. In order to get my client, I had to show them the results that I was willing to do for myself. So I would wake up, go train. People who didn't know I was training, I would go out by myself and start on myself, my mental, my physical, and my spiritual. Once I realized I could take control of myself, I could do the same thing for another person. But once I realized I got my first client, like, man, my hard work paid off more so with me starting off with myself than the preparation to get into a new client and them believing in my process and my system made me feel great because I know where it all started.
That's interesting.
I feel great for the most part.
Cool. So you just even that whole dynamic, you saying pretty much you had to train yourself physically and mentally like you were a client to get yourself prepared to put somebody in a situation. Well, that's cool. That's cool. That's interesting. You said that. Again, this is Deontay Burden. I'm interviewing Mr. Torian Ferguson. He's also my son, but he's also the owner of TAF Sports. It's a fitness training company here based in Georgia. This is the Game Changers, and part of Mr. Short Dollar, throwing so much stuff out there I'm about to forget. But yeah, Game Changers, what we do is we interview entrepreneurs, small business owners, just give insight to how they got started, why they got started, and where they're trying to send to in the future and everything. And again, Mr. Ferguson here is the owner of this company. Also, very proud. I'm also very proud to say he's my son also and everything. So he's our guest today on Game Change talking about this company, TAF Sports. And Torian, let me ask you, my next question is, put your thinking cap on, it might be right there in your face, but what's been your biggest challenge so far with getting everything started in regards to your business?
Can you repeat that? It went in and out a little bit.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll say, what has been your biggest challenge so far in regards to having your business going since you started? What has been your biggest challenge so far?
The biggest challenge for me, man, like you said, with Game Changers, planning. You can never stop planning in business as a business owner. Like every day you have to plan from Monday to Friday. That's been my biggest challenge in the beginning of my business when I started, was actually having my own personal schedule. In football, they usually do everything for you. But as a business owner, you're pretty much relying on yourself to bring in that form of income. So like I said, it always goes back to working on yourself and creating that schedule. So being on a routine that I set for myself just to make sure that we get to the end goal within the business.
Got you. I know, yeah, and this is one of the things that probably touchy subject with a lot of folks, because a lot of people don't like to do a lot of self-reflecting. And I know you're pretty mentally tough person. I think it should be too challenging for you. I want you to tell me about a time where you were like, hey man, look, I want to quit. I'm through with it. I'm tired of dealing with this company. Hey, I don't want to do it no more. Tell me about that time that came up with that, and how did you fight through it to get past that hurdle of not quitting?
Like I said, me being an athlete, there's been numerous times through life where I didn't want to do something. But like I said, you're my father. I can tell you found ways to tell me or give me reason why you shouldn't quit, because at the end of the day, it wasn't about the job, it was about fighting through adversity. You know, because we fight through adversity every day in life. You don't know what's gonna hit you. So there's been numerous times, so to say, playing football at Vanderbilt. I had a few times where, I mean, a lot of athletes go through this. We don't start, or we don't get the opportunity that we once assumed that we were going to get once we got to our location or team. So I have times where I'm like, man, I want to transfer, I want to leave, but I know what you've taught me is you're not gonna have everything what you want. I mean, everything that you want is gonna be perfect, but you can fight through it. So when you do get to the next destination that requires that hard work, you're willing to, you know how to push through it. Sports wasn't the end goal for me, and by me not quitting during football season or trying to go the opposite way, it's allowed me to be different situations that have occurred recently in my life. So I appreciate that too.
Oh no, I appreciate you, brother. Well, listen, let me ask you a question, because here's the deal. Because a lot of times millennials get a bad rap. You know, you say they don't want this, they don't want to work hard, they expect everything, they feel entitled. You get all kind of description when people talk about millennials. What I want to know, you give me, what is one common myth about millennial business owners that you like? Listen, people say this all the time: we don't want to work, we think it's easy. Give me one common myth that you like, that's not true, this is the real deal. Because I know you've heard all kind of things where people giving you all kind of comments about what you should be doing or what you're not doing. Give me a common myth that people have towards millennial business owners that you can say, hey, listen, I hear it all the time, but this is not true.
Hmm. Let me see.
Is it all true?
I think we all go through. I mean, with business owners, one thing about millennials, I'm not gonna say every millennial, just a few. Just working for people or just doing work with others. They say that we're lazy. We're not lazy. I think we just have different timelines in which we want to hit certain things, because everything we do now is based off creations. We have a creative mind or innovative mind in which we want to do certain things a different way. I read a book. It said a reasonable man will do the normal that's already currently going on, but the unreasonable man will go the opposite way and make change. So I think that's what we do right now as millennials. We're going against the norms of what society has been teaching us, and we're not lazy. We just have a different way about going about it compared to what's been going on in the past. But we're not lazy. We just have different ways of going about it now.
Gotcha.
It gets done. It gets done, but it's not the same pace that our elders have pushed down on us.
I got you. And it's funny you say that, because a lot of times people that are older, I mean, even older than me, I just put in perspective, people, because they're accustomed to doing a certain thing a certain way and it works, they think that's the only way. Now, understanding what the key word you just said is not that that's the best way, the only way, it's just different. If the end goal is to get things accomplished, that's the end goal. And I just think a lot of times people just aren't receptive to change. They aren't receptive to what's different. And I will say, just being in business, that the more open you are to changes and things being different, the more you have more longevity. When you don't want to be flexible and you don't want to change, you're going to have issues and everything like that, because that technology innovation constantly going to bring changes, constantly going to bring differences. And if people aren't receptive to those differences and those changes, they won't last too long. You know, and history showed us that. History showed us that those businesses that weren't receptive to it and everything, technology innovation wiped them out. Those business, those industries, everything. It just, and people,
yeah,
and everything. You have, I know people now that are over the age of 40 and up, definitely 50 and up, they're scared to touch computers, and they just shrunk their opportunities for doing jobs and have, especially their manual jobs and everything. So that's a good point. You brought the word different. Let me ask you a question. If you can give like 2 or 3 people that have helped you so far, and like I said, well, we're kind of putting in perspective. We're talking, personal reference is fine, but we're talking in lines of TAF Sports. Give 2 or 3 people that have helped you to get where you are right now in life, in regards to where you are as far as your business and everything. you got some mentors and out there, and what kind of impact have they had on you?
Okay, I got a few, man. But I'm gonna name three. If I don't name you, do not get mad. Everybody is accepted, but it's a lot of people out here. But um, I've had Mike Roby has been a good person that's helped me out more so on the spiritual end when it comes to sports. He's made everything seem simple. He makes everything simple, more so on the spiritual end when it comes to athletes understanding our purpose as athletes and how we can commit ourselves to God through our sports. But also not just God in general, but just realizing that you do have a purpose outside of sports too. It's not just about the sports. So he's made me realize that when I'm talking to kids or whoever it may be, that they all have a purpose and that we all can get to our end goal any way possible. The second person, my dad, you of course. You show me mentally different, mentally strong-minded person now. With the business or anything in life that the confidence. You show me that you can be confident and still get to what you want, but everything requires hard work at the end of the day. You can't really beat that word hard work. There's nothing you can do. Either way you go, you have to put in some type of action in order to get an end result. And you show me that through life or just through college that adversity is going to hit, but you still got to fight through it. And that's been a big impact overall on my sports career and business. Then last, I can say my mom, Glenn Ford. It's a lot of people, my grandma, but those three people in a nutshell, just people you can go reach out to and realize that you still outside of business or you got regular day things going on that you need to take care of, and family comes first. Family, bring me back to family. Just realizing that family always is the beginning and not the end goal. I mean, it's always the beginning and the end goal with everything you do. Business is just second. So, I mean, those three people, man, very influential in my life. Just keeping that balance about life overall.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, let me ask you a question. You know, you at this point right now in your professional career, in the working world and also in the business world and everything. Now let's go back down memory lane. What do you wish you had known when you first got started that you know now, like man, and everything else? Man, if I got that, I wouldn't have went through that. And we all got experiences and stuff, but I want you to kind of like, what do you is hitting you like, man, if I had known this, man, I probably wouldn't travel this road. What is that?
With the business, it's a lot. But I'm gonna name one that's still on my mind is everything requires a system. You can't beat that. You need a system to start off anything. From the day you wake up with yourself to how the way your business runs. It saves system. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, Torrin. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. I got a part that you said you need a system. So if you start back from that point, because you're breaking up a little bit.
Okay. I wish I would have known that a system was very crucial. They tell you, but if I would have seen the ins and outs of what it meant to have a system, it really comes down to the person and how it fits your business or yourself. If I know I'm an early waker, I need to have a 6:30 schedule, get my workout in, eat, do a meditation, whatever it is, but then move into the business. If your business is just everywhere, you're going to be everywhere because you're trying to figure out where the pins and needles fit each day or each hour throughout the day. So I wish I knew I had a system in place at an early age, and I would have been a little bit less stressful going into it. But anybody out there listening, make sure you have a system in place.
You got a little breakup. Can you hear me fine?
If you need to have one, reach out to Mr. Short. I can hear you.
Okay. You got a little breakup in there and everything. I think the last thing that came in clear when you were saying if you need a system.
Yeah, if you need a system, reach out to Mr. Deontay Burden. No, in all seriousness, no. Make sure you have a system. Sit down with somebody and just make sure that it makes sense, but also makes sense for yourself and how you operate on a day-to-day basis. If not, keep reevaluating your system. That's the overall meaning behind business. like you said, testing and trying things out until you find that perfect point.
Now, the question I have, did you not know about systems, or you just didn't follow the blueprint given to you about systems?
Me being young, me being young and feel like you can do everything by yourself. You want to always try it out, for the most part. But I've been told how to do a system, but it's more so, like I said, seeing if it fits for you. You know what I'm saying? People give you their system, sometimes nothing wrong with their system. But at the end of the day, I have to wake up inside my body and know how I operate on a day-to-day basis, make sure it works out like
No, I was just joking. Honestly, I was joking with you
that. No,
about
no,
that.
most definitely, most definitely, most
But
definitely.
that's a great point, because at the end of the day, um, what I've told you, your brothers, or even clients, or anyone, that people give you suggestions, people give you ideas, but they give you suggestion ideas of what's worked for them or what they've seen and from their vantage point. But it does not necessarily mean that that idea or operation or system will work for you, because
Exactly.
everyone comes with different things that they're available to do, different constraints and everything. So that's a great point you just said. You know, you gather information, then you try to start fixing to see how that, you have the system, but how does that coordinate with your lifestyle and everything? So that's a great point you just had. Hey, again, this is Game Changers, where we talk to small business and entrepreneurs on Game Changers, part of Mr. Short Dollar. You know, Mr. Short Dollar, we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. I am Deontay Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure you go to the YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok under Mr. Short Dollar. You can also follow me on IG at Deontay_77. You can also follow me on Twitter at Majestic Biz on Twitter. But make sure you go to our social media platforms, Mr. Short Dollar. Follow us there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Facebook channel and Facebook page rather. And again, I have Mr. Torian Ferguson. He is the owner of TAF Sports. TAF Sports is a a fitness and training organization where they deal with personal fitness, personal training, also athletic training for youth, high school, and also adult professional athletes as well. It's TAF Sports. Two more questions I want to give you, Torian, and I'm gonna let you wrap up, give all your social media information from there. Next question is, how has being a business owner changed your thinking of entrepreneurship? Because I mean, most people know I'm a father of 4 sons. You being the oldest, and I've over the years bring up ideas of owning a business and entrepreneurship, and I can understand personally how from sometimes as people see Pop working like a dog, or Pop doing this, or Pop missing out. And I think I've been active in everybody's endeavors and everything, but I can see from the outside looking in from that perception how people can see, hey man, there's a lot of stuff, daddy doing. I don't really want to get into that. And then when you get out there and get a taste of it for yourself, like, hey man, it's not as bad or it's worse or whatever. So my question to you is, being a business owner now, how has that changed? How's your thinking changed now, as far as, looking at the perspective of being an entrepreneur? Or has it changed at all?
It's just going into entrepreneur, you think like you gotta have a certain degree or a certain, when this is my thoughts now, that's how I was thinking. I'm like, man, if you're an entrepreneur, you got a certain amount of money already up front, this, that, and the third. But to be honest, entrepreneurship is all self-development at the end of the day, creating that dream that you want for people, or if you want to help them, or you have something, or if you're just self-employed, you just want to have a business that you can make your own money. But overall, I've seen that it came down to self-development. If you're not reading, educating, or putting some type of value into yourself, you're not going to grow your business. So the money is not the thing in business. It's really about, are you developing yourself? Everything else will come once you start to continue to grow yourself. Then people start to realize, like, man, this guy's really serious about his business or his company. And that's what draws people into your product, is that they see how confident that you are behind your product. And that all comes down with self-development and growth.
So that's funny you say that, because young lady I interviewed, Janae Pitts with the travel company, she brought, when I asked her the same question, she brought up similar to your answer, reading. And she had said to kind of to the point you're saying, she had spent so much time reading for a task, like reading to do this, reading to do that, get something accomplished, reading, work it out. So, but she never read to learn or read to empower herself or read to educate herself. And that's what it is. A lot of times we'll read something to get informed, but hey, what, how to do this, how to put this together, or what's going on. But we don't read to actually build that muscle in there to actually, make us grow. It's interesting you say that.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy when you're reading. A lot of people have this misconception. Reading is, like you said, it's a muscle. You might actually see something that you that you read in the book. It might need to use it down the line. You don't know that, but like you said, that muscle memory, or that mind, it remembers everything. If you really just sit down and read a book, you won't forget it. It'll come back when it needs so or need be. But stay in the books, man. I think that's the number one thing we, as people in general, need to just start doing is reading more books. It always starts with a book and writing stuff down.
There you go. There you go. Well, listen, this is the last question I want to ask you, and I want you kind of, just, think a little bit on this. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself, TAF Sports? Where do you see, you position yourself in the next 5 years going on the path that you're going right now?
The path that I'm going on right now, man, I see myself helping more kids get into school through their athletics. More so mentoring them in the beginning, just preparing them for that college lifestyle. One thing that we are having an issue with is kids are going to school to play football, but are they going to school for school? Are they using both the athletics and the education, the next form of the next form of growth for their life? Like Coach Flunkin told me, or we know about it. We're not here to sign a 4-year deal. We're here for 40 years. We're preparing you for 40 years. So people know how to invest in themselves and understand their situations. I think they help them propel them to the next phase of their life. And that's what I want to do with the athletes for TAF. So the next 5 years, I see myself and my business helping kids get into school, just taking trips.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, man, I want to tell you, I really appreciate you being a guest on the show today. While we're wrapping up, I want you to just give all your contact and social media information, all right?
Okay. Well, my name is Torian Ferguson, owner of TAF Sports. You can follow me on Instagram at TAF Sports and Performance. You can put that in at the top. Just search your search bar just for easy access. Also, you can follow me on Facebook at TAF Sports as well. Type it in at the box, in the Facebook box as well. You can also follow my website, tafsports.com. That's www.tafsport.com. If you want to email me, get in contact with me. My cell is 404-386-4932. Sorry about that. I have two phones on file. 404-368-4932. If you want to get in contact with me through email, you can get in contact with info@tafsport.com. I appreciate you, Mr. Short Dollar, for having me on Game Changers, and I look forward to plenty more.
That's cool. Now listen, as always, everyone will have all Torian's links to all his business, social media information in the description block. So he just gave it, but I make sure we have all the links to everything in the description part. So if you missed anything, whatever, you can always hit the links and to go from there. Again, this is Game Changers, hosted by me, Deontay Burton, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar, subscribe to it. Again, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and also under Mr. Short Dollar on the TikTok. We're also on Twitter at Majestic Biz. You can follow us at on IG at Majestic Biz 1. On Game Changers, we talk to small business owners and entrepreneurs, people that are out here starting businesses, talk about what they're doing now, how do they get there, their journey and everything, and what they're looking at going into the future. Again, this is Mr. Torian Ferguson, the owner of TAF Sport. He's also coincidentally my oldest son. I'm super proud of this young man. He has always made me very proud of him and everything, what he's done and everything. He's been a great son, been a great older brother and everything, made my life a whole lot easier with a lot of stuff, man. So brother, I want to tell you, I appreciate you, I love you, and best of luck with everything, and I'll talk with you later, okay?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you again, later too.
All right, take care.